Now though, guys, we're being taken to Volskaya Foundry. Beyond the game chose that battleground, so they better have something prepared, because if they continue to play like this, they might just very well face their first loss of this phase.
Let's head in here as RPG sitting one game up. They've already achieved a little bit of revenge. They would certainly love to be able to get a 2-0 to even up the map score between the two teams. And of course, finally move themselves a little bit further up the table. If RPG can score the 2-0 here, they will move up to 11 points. Only 1 point behind Super Perfect Team.
That is correct. They're down a series, BTG, so this would have been their chance to actually maintain their original lead of 4 points. However, as you mentioned, if Beyond the Game now walks away with a tie or maybe even a loss, that gap between themselves and the one in SPT and C is going to shrink significantly. And remember what we said a few weeks ago? Actually, a few days ago? We were actually almost 100% sure that Beyond the Game would finish this phase in first place. The way they played, the way they dominated at the beginning of this phase. But now, all of a sudden, Tetcher, I'm not so sure anymore.
So we see the bans onto the Urel once again. RPG taking advantage of their ex-player here. Once again, lowering Locktar's hero pool as they this time get the Diablo for themselves.
Yeah, and that is a really smart call, and I love what RPG is doing here. Banning Urel every single time. Locktar, who used to be a ranged flex for the most part of his pro career, now on the melee flex role, he really seems to have a little bit of a struggle on heroes that are not Urel, so taking her out of the equation is super solid. Now, what are they going to pick? Are Beyond the Game going to go for that Leoric again? For a Dehaka? Or a Blaze? We're going to find out soon. Or maybe for something completely different. Maybe they're going to surprise us here. Alexstrasza being picked by RPG this time around.
Yeah. Very early Alexstrasza, but into the Deckard this time.
Into the Deckard, yeah.
A risky call, but with White Mane banned, I guess it is still an acceptable pickup.
Yeah, MJ is definitely one of the better Dragon Queen users in China. His Dragon Queen timing is impeccable. He also seems to be doing pretty well when it comes to landing those cleansing flames. So this time the roles are reversed for the most part, right? All the heroes, or some of the heroes that Beyond the Game was using in Game 1 are now handed over to RPG. It almost looks like they wanted to tell us and show us, you know what, we're going to show these guys how it's done properly.
I'm enjoying this target banning right now onto DSL with the Hammer and the Cassia banned out. This kind of lowers his hero pool down to, well, pretty much Jaina. He can still Junkrat with Reyna still on the way, though.
Vala.
Like, literally, the heroes he has shown, all that's left is Jaina, Vala, and Abathur. I forgot about that game. Thank you, Stats. Sorry, and Junkrat. Sorry, no longer Junkrat, as that's still in the way. So we're back to Jaina and Vala and Abathur again.
Or maybe something completely out of the ordinary. Maybe he's going to show us his first Phoenix, and Pa is going to switch his hero.
Maybe he's going to throw out the Zul'jin. He did play that when he was on SPT.
Oh man, I think that was the crazy game in which we saw 2.5 supports against 3 supports. With Brightwing, Abathur.
Oh, no, that was E-Star who pulled that off.
Oh, that was E-Star. Okay, there we go.
Greymane. All right. So I expect the Greymane is probably DSL, but I could be wrong here. That is a solo laner Thrall, though, unless, of course, we're going to see Phoenix hold the solo lane. Yeah, free show on that Thrall, and DSL showing us his first Greymane.
All right, first Greymane of this, second Greymane of this series. First one for RPG. And it's just so weird. They seem to have picked almost the exact same composition that BTG just lost with, right? They too picked the Greymane. They've got the Diablo and the Alexstrasza. A little bit of a difference here, though, is, of course, the Thrall. And you mentioned him going onto the soul lane. I would actually consider him as a Crash Lightning Thrall with Phoenix being in the soul lane. Both variants could actually happen.
Yeah, the possibility is definitely there for both of those. A little bit of stats once again, as we always do like to keep up with DSL because he's been away for so long. He has played Greymane 12 times, 75% win rate. Once again, most of these for SPT. So he does have a little bit of experience. It's certainly less than his Valor, as we've already mentioned before.
Yep.
But experience is there.
Tetcher, thoughts on Greymane? What is your opinion on that pick that we barely see these days, but is now being picked twice in a row in this series?
The Curse Bullet is just such a game-changing tool if you're able to execute it effectively. I don't mind seeing them bring this out, so It's all right. Also, a little bit of a irony here. The last time that Jinzhao or DSL brought out a Greymane, it was against RPG.
Wow!
That's the very last time he brought it out in pro play.
And I guess back in the days when SBT looked indomitable and RPG looked very shaky, they probably won with it.
They did, indeed. I mean, a lot of this match history is wins.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Volskaya Foundry. On the left-hand side, we're seeing the team that is currently up 1-0. Very surprisingly, but very pleasantly for us, it is RPG with Free Show, MJ, Pa, C, and DSL.
And on the right-hand side is Beyond the Game with 619, LLK, Druid, Dancing, and Loktar.
Now, can they make the upset complete? RPG, all they need is one more game, one good performance on Volskaya Foundry. This time, we're not going to see it in a Zebo, by the way. Yesterday, we did see it against Sergeant Hammer, and it wrecked. It also wrecked against BTG when Team Nut walked away with a victory.
Yeah, but with Hammer banned out early, BTG decided to just avoid that altogether as they were focusing once again onto DSL's hero pool. As we do see 619 hovering around the area, seeing if he can wrap around, making sure his team isn't ganked from the side, and is able to achieve a Stormbolt stack.
Yeah, I wonder what Raynor was last game, actually. I don't believe he was banned. It's completely so...
I'm pretty sure he was banned.
He was banned? All right.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, Muradin in trouble this time around. 619 being surrounded, and this time immediately hopping to safety here. We don't see a Crash Lightning Thrall, by the way, Tetcher. We end up seeing a Thrall who's still going to rotate. So he stays in the top lane for a little bit here, while Phoenix takes care of the bottom lane. Shouldn't have any problems whatsoever against the Blaze because of his superior range and poking potential. Another difficulty here. It always seems to be BTG who's struggling right now, so hopefully it is not a reoccurring issue.
Possibly. You can see the crew all moving across to see what the problem is. SEAL Team IT. As we currently have... in terms of the Crash Lightning Thrall, I do quite like that they've gone for Echo of the Elements here. Instead of going for burst damage, which is mostly going to be mitigated by the shields of the healing potions of Deckard Cain, they've gone for consistent damage, which is what Echo of the Elements offers. The damage numbers are pretty comparable if you're able to just spam the lightning over and over again. So it's not so bad. It basically just means it's a safer talent. It's more health, meaning you're in the fight longer. So overall, I don't mind Echo of the Elements, especially on a map like this. Even though Crash Lightning has more potential value, Echo is definitely safer, more consistent, and might work better against Deckard Cain.
So the main difference also between those two talents on Thrall is, of course, the fact that Crash Lightning, true, it needs a while to get rolling, right? But if you're having it completed, it bounces between heroes on priority, so you can actually have a more consistent damage coming in, but only in the late game. I fully agree with you, Tetcher. Yeah. Since Echo of the Elements usually takes shorter to complete, you're going to have more reliable damage from that talent until, you know, level 16, 15, 17-ish, where most Crash Lightning Thralls have it completed. Up to then, Echo of the Elements, better talent in terms of damage, but later on, Crash Lightning kind of takes over. But as you said, the more healing consistency and the more Frostwolf resilience stacks you're always going to get from Echo of the Elements because you have another instant of Chain Lightning. So depending on how you want to build, depending on how tanky you want to become on Thrall, you really have to take all these points into account.
But Kendrick, I play Hero League at Diamond level and I always pick Rolling Thunder. I think these players are wrong.
You know what? Honestly, I tried to defend Rolling Thunder for a very long time. I still don't think it's utterly terrible, but you're just missing out on a lot of good stuff, so feel free to keep picking Rolling Thunder. It's just, you don't even know what you're missing. You could be so much stronger. You could do so much more.
Yeah, like, the mana regen is quite nice, but you're really gonna use that? It's a little bit weird. The health regen's pretty nice, but if he had another source of damage while losing out on that damage from the Chain Lightning normally, then that Rolling Thunder might be picked. But none of his other talents really make up for that.
Exactly. So, back in the game, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really glad to see that these pauses are getting shorter and shorter. So hopefully we're going to have our best performance delivered to the players. Muradin missing the Stormbolt here by just an inch on DSL. Good sidestepping.
Dancing, taking a fair amount of damage. DSL very nearly gets caught in the scroller ceiling, but is able to play around, at least for the moment. As both teams are racing towards level 4, this will of course be Diablo's first of, well, probably like 10 power spikes, where he's going to actually start being able to get souls much quicker and is even harder to kill just due to the extra healing he gets from his Firestomp.
Yeah, I love what Thrall is doing, by the way. We mentioned that, you know, Echo of the Elements is usually designed for solo lane Thrall, but hey, even on maps like Volskaya, you can rotate very quickly when there's no straight-up pressure coming in from the enemy team, and you're going to be able to stack up even more quickly. So yeah, do that if it's safe to do so. For now, though, we see both teams taking care of the siege camps here on Volskaya. Let's see how quickly they're actually going to cap them. RPG immediately took it over. BTG is waiting a little longer, so they can probably help defend closer to their own base.
They wait for their moment. Echo of the Elements already complete. Dive onto LLK here. Good route as he's dropped low.
No way.
They can't chase him down. Oh, yes, they can. Free show from the side, getting the free kill.
Yeah, free show, free kill. There we go. RPG, with that man advantage, they can probably move on and proceed to taking this healing pulse, which will probably give them great service and utility during that next objective fight that is about to start here. Thrall, I believe, picked it up.
Yep, Bardic Emitter in the hands of Thrall here. They've got a healing turret? That's not what a turret does. We have a turret on the side of MJ, so he's going to be able to drop a little bit of protection for the objective here. As finally, the channel starts to come in, the percentage starts to tick up for RPG. The BTG have something to say about this. Phoenix is not here with them. He's trying to split so he can get them level 7.
Turret already used by RPG. They're trying to get some extra damage and body blocking objectives in here. Big fight about to commence. Dragon Queen unleashed.
Dancing chucks out his turret straight away. LLK is able to sneak away. Pa is going very deep considering his health pool right now, but that might net him a kill. No, good tackle by Locktar, saving 619, but they were able to force everyone back, but that was burning Dragon Queen, burning the Bardic Emitter. Both teams burning turrets.
Yeah, so basically RPG is all out of ammo when it comes to, you know, having those long, heavy-hitting cooldowns available or having items available as well. In the meantime, Phoenix arriving a little bit too late here. C actually has to make an aggressive move to escape the focus fire of BTG.
That might have been a mistake by C. He tackled too early. That's actually missed the abundance. He drops very, very low. Gets a little bit of self-healing, though. Firestomp, good ability. And the health bars are so low. Par with the flag picks up the kills. 619 taken out with the teleporting Phoenix. And that is a pentuple kill coming in here for RPG. The full team wipe.
Absolutely true. 5 members absolutely bodied here by RPG, and that is probably the best potential fighting outcome you could have hoped for. There's no defense here whatsoever to even tackle and tickle the big protector. He could just basically do whatever he wants to at this point right now. It's hammering onto those defensive structures right now, takes down a tower, probably the second one in the top lane as well, and with so much health left on that objective, they might even just go straight for the fort. Look at that.
They just move in. They've got a 2-level lead from that that team kill as they move forward. This fort will certainly fall, and that's actually going to give them one of the earliest level 10s on this map I think I've ever seen.
It's crazy, and that's exactly because normally on Volskaya Foundry, when a team realizes, you know what, we're going to lose this fight most likely, they're just going to back off and have enough forces ready to actually defend against this protector. But because this team fight was so close on both sides, it was unfortunately BTG who walked away with a 5-man team wipe because they were themselves so close to making this happen on their opponents. So, yeah, super unfortunate. And as you said, Tetra, a straight-up 2-level lead for RPG. I think if they continue playing like this, and if they continue to snowball, they're going to have this first win.
Path burns through at the turret on the left-hand side. The rest of the team heads over to the right. We have an Earthquake APOC combo. Haven't seen that in ages. So let's see what RPG can do with this. They immediately find Muradin. Decides not to burn the APOC there. They could have maybe got the lockdown onto 619, but decide against it.
Yeah, you definitely want to save your long cooldown heroic abilities until the enemies turn level 10, because otherwise you might fight with a disadvantage here. Level 10, of course, still quite a bit away here from Beyond the Game. They're using that low cooldown on those healing camps to actually dominate and secure it before their opponents reach their heroic abilities. Now Raynor going for that unstable compound here, level 7, by the way. Doesn't trust all that slow from Muradin, and Decker Kane wants to rely on his own slows there as well to always proc ace in the hole.
They're going to be able to take down both turrets here, but here comes Diablo. Good oil for the slow. And that actually does give Loktar the opportunity to move into a much more favorable position.
Now, can Beyond the Game bounce back right now? This is definitely one of the better time windows in which they could try to make something happen here. Now with their level 10s ready and going. Only Raynor hasn't really decided yet what he wants to go for. I can see the Hyperion actually getting decent value in those objective fights, but aside from that, you know, for more burst damage...
The Raiders not in the bush. It just completely shows that they were there as they immediately turn around and 619 gets shredded. He drops the avatar, but Apocalypse is an immediate blow up onto Deckard Cain, and with 619 sniped by Phoenix 2, RPG are popping off. Good concussion mine. Saves the day. Dancing dies to Alex Strasano.
They're not done yet.
Back in, gets Loktar, and RPG are looking so dominant.
I have no idea what Beyond the Game was thinking there. As you said, they saw the Raynor Banshee just popping up after picked at level 10 here, and then still they went into that bush. They probably thought they could overpower their opponents as well there, but look at that. Not even the bunker could save them here. Then comes MJ. Looks like Alex Strasser wants to have a piece of the pie as well and get a kill in here and there. And with 13 now online, they find themselves in a beautiful position to take yet another Fort-Tetcher.
Here comes the push in by RPG, looking for the fort to begin with, but they're actually going to back up. They know the rest of the team is on the way. Even with a talent advantage, it's too risky without heroics to hang around, so they very sensibly pull back. Phoenix is on his way to top lane to begin that channel, and the rest of the team following in suit.
Yeah, and I gotta give it to Pa. I think right now, Pa, twice in the Phoenix in a row, he's playing his best series. We criticized him in the past about, you know, reckless positioning, about questionable decision-making and the way he played in those team fights. But up to this point, every single time the salvos were on point, he only went to chase after enemy heroes when it was safe to do so. So I'm really glad to see the quote-unquote weak link of RPG not being the weak link anymore, and actually quite on the opposite, stepping it up big time.
So we see this percentage ticking up for RPG. BTG, though, they're setting pretty much everyone up here. They're just rotating a little bit slowly, but doesn't matter how high your opponent's percentage is on, as long as you hit 100 first.
Also, Pa is probably rocking the scariest looking mount skin combo that I've seen yet. Phoenix on a white shark. That looks super creepy.
I do like that as well. Give me a second. I'm trying to get back down to you time-wise, because I had a slight mini lag.
Okay, I'm going to tell you where exactly I am right now. I'm sitting at 6.34, 6.4.
That's a relief, because I can't seem to get below that, because I thought we were still on 5s. There we go, 6.2. That'll do.
There we go.
Nice.
That'll definitely do. Now, 13 is not here yet for Beyond the Game, so they realize, you know what, guys, we're not going to be able to fight over this objective at all. We don't have 13. Let's just try to get some value elsewhere, try to get some items in our pockets, because we're definitely behind in that regard. Diablo, who has that healing pulse available, hops into the Protector.
Oh, I was about to say
they got another one.
Yeah, they got another one. They actually juggle users. Do we have Diablo now in the movement and Thrall in the damage? So now they have both healing pulses inside the Protector, which I guess means they can just pop them the second the Protector dies if they do want to dive this keep, which might end up happening. They're going to take down the front wall to begin with. They've got that assault camp with them as well. So how much are they willing to commit? They've got minions on the way, and the Protector creeps forward piece by piece, down to 56% health, but the keep is now finally under assault.
The zoning beam so well done for the Protector, and just when Loktar was secured to find an opening here, the Protector in peeling duty, in peeling mode, already jumping to his ally side. A 5-man salvo, not empowered by the slows, but still good poke damage.
Riptire sneaking in. Good 4-man route from Thrall. Diablo comes in. APOC, but the bunker is dropping. It's not enough to save Muradin. Druid also dropping so low as they try to chase him down, but DSL was not able to pick up the kill, but they do find Blaze, and that will guarantee this keep.
I mean, what are you going to do when Thrall lands a 4-man route just like that? All of your engaging, you know, all that engaging momentum is coming to an halt here, just like that. And even before that, we saw so much good peeling by the Protector. I think RPG is a little bit bold to go for that core call just like that, because there's still 3 members defending, one of them being Junkrat. But hey, if you blow up the Mayhem Maker, sorry, if you blow up Raynor, his buddy in crime, then you don't have to fear anything anymore. There's no more damage they can apply on RPG. They're just probably going to take this with Brawl. Phoenix, hold that thought. Greymane.
Greymane. Okay, Diablo's full health. If it wasn't for Diablo being on full health, this might have actually survived. But in this case, that is a 2-0 going over to RPG. Nicely done.
Alert, alert. Crisis mode detected. BTG struggling Tetcher. China in turmoil. Nothing is the same anymore.